What's up, everyone? This is Betamax. My name is Fidel, and joining me on this episode of Crate Digging is Eddie and special guest Frank. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
What's up?
So, for those who haven't heard a Crate Digging episode, we each take an album or record that we enjoy or means a lot to us, and we sit down, listen to it, give our opinions on it, and we explain why we chose it. So, to start things off, I'm gonna talk about mine because I'm selfish. So, but the album I chose is by an English band named Rain from southeast England, I believe. The album is actually an EP, 3-song EP called Symphony Pains. Now, we sat down, listened to it, and what did you guys think, Eddie?
Right off the bat, they do something I like. A lot of hardcore bands do it, but I noticed that this band particularly does it a lot. They have little build-ups where like the drummer would just be hitting the bass and the cymbals at the same time, so it's just like a little build-up. And I think all 3 songs had that at one point, like at one section of their songs, and I like that. And besides that, I love, like, I don't know, like when it comes to like hardcore and like punk rock and things like that, I think drums are often like mic'd up like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, you can just hear it clearly, like especially the bass drum. And I don't know, I think that was my favorite thing about it.
Now, you're mentioning hardcore and punk. They're considered a shoegaze band.
Yeah.
So why are you mentioning hardcore?
I don't know, because it didn't sound like other shoegaze you try to show me.
Yeah.
I'm not like too familiar with shoegaze. Just because, like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan. Honestly, I think it's kind of boring. I think shoegaze is kind of boring, but then again, like I said, I've only heard like the few bands I've listened to, like,
yeah,
and I just haven't had that great of experience with that. But this album, I don't know, it didn't feel like regular shoegaze, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I feel like it had some hardcore elements to it.
What did you think, Frank?
It did remind me of Title V kind of stuff. So
yeah, like that kind of hardcore.
Yeah, that's where the hardcore thing comes about, I think.
But
it does also remind me of like Explosions in the Sky.
Oh, okay.
With a whole like build up type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Like that whole atmosphere type of feel.
Yeah. Like for a minute, it kind of tries to take you towards, where they're trying to take you to.
Very atmospheric and melodic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't disagree with the whole hardcore like mentality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm pretty sure these guys like come from that background. They probably listen to it like growing up.
Yeah.
I don't really know that much about the band. There's not a lot available, like a lot of information available online about them, because they've only released 2 EPs and like a couple singles, and they haven't been active since like 2018. Yeah. But this EP, I remember when it first came out, I got it.
How did you find out about it?
Honestly, like I have a habit of just browsing Bandcamp, like for like certain tags, like music tags. I'll just browse through it and listen to like a couple songs, and that's how I've come across a lot of stuff. And I got into the habit of doing that because of our friend Jacob Lucero. He like would do that a lot, so I started doing that, and we would exchange like music and stuff. But that's how I came across this band. And like when I first heard this EP, Symphony Pains, like I fell in love with it because at that time I had just gotten into that band Nothing. And then like that Title Fight album Hyperview came out also, so like there's a lot of similarities,
Yeah.
And like it has that hardcore background, and like I listened to hardcore, so like it piqued my interest. But yeah, like I really enjoyed this EP. Like I was really torn between choosing this one and the other EP they have, because the other EP has about like 6. We're recording this with my front door open, so you can hear like this helicopter.
The ghetto bird.
Yeah. I live in a pretty nice area, so we'll just let it pass real quick. But yeah, I was really like going back and forth between this EP and the other EP. It's called Abstract Vision. It has like 5 songs, and I was listening to them like all week and trying to decide which one I wanted to do. And I caught myself constantly revisiting Symphony Pains, the one we listened to. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. And like, yeah, I like Frank, the same thing. Like, it reminds me a lot of Explosion in the Sky with the whole atmospheric element to it, and definitely the hardcore like sense of it. And I don't know. I guess fuck, I can't find the words. Like, I feel like I keep repeating myself with the whole. It piqued my interest in hardcore, piqued my interest in shoegaze, because, like I said, when I found this, it was when I was really into Nothing, and that's when I first got into shoegaze, because Nothing is the band that like really introduced me into that genre. Do you listen to shoegaze at all, Frank?
No, not too much. No.
Are you familiar with it at all, though?
Yeah. I know they stare at their shoes and play.
But yeah, like, so when this EP first came out, I was listening to it a lot, and I actually am not allowed to stream it on the Bandcamp app anymore because you have to pay for it for unlimited streaming, but it's not available to buy. It's only like a free download. So yeah, like I have to, and it's not available on Spotify. So, but I was trying to look up to see if you could still buy the record because it was released by a UK label called Close to Home Records, and the website is like defunct. Like I tried looking, it says like website expired, so like I couldn't find it anywhere. But you could still buy the other EP because it was released on another label called Ven Records, and that one's still available. So like I would suggest picking that one up because that one's also as good, but this one like is definitely like my favorite of their releases. Yeah. But what albums did you guys pick, Eddie?
Okay. I went with an album from a band that I told myself I wasn't never gonna put them in here, just because I don't know. They're just a weird band. But the album I chose is an EP by The Locusts called "Safety Second, Body Last." And one of the main reasons I chose this because I wanted Fidel to listen to it, and I never have a chance to like just chill with Fidel and just like play The Locusts for him. I'm like, this is perfect. But the reason I chose this album in particular was because this was, I think, their when they were transitioning to like their new phase, the new style of music. Because the first few albums of The Locust, they're just they're Paraviolence, and they always had the synth. That's what kind of separated them from other bands. And it wasn't until their most famous album is Plague Soundscapes. And I was going to choose that album for a while, and I'm like, no, let's just do something a little different, because I feel like that album is just, that's the one that everyone talks about. That's the one that, you ask anyone about The Locusts, like 9 out of 10 people will be like, oh, that's my favorite album.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I don't want to do that one. But that one, this album was released in 2005. I think that was 2 years after Plague Soundscapes. Completely different from Plague Soundscapes, day and night difference. Plague Soundscape is just like 30-second songs, just blistered, like it's just fast, aggressive music, and they even have like a crossed out cover in that.
Really?
Yeah, they do. It doesn't sound like anything like crossed out.
What song?
Practice Hatred.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty cool. But like I said, I went with this album just because I feel like this was them testing the waters out to this is just them transitioning to what they will eventually become, which was New Erections, the album after this one. And I think New Erections is by far their best album. Musically, just everything about it is just improvements from what they've learned all this time. And but I like this because it's just so fucking experimental. It's so different from what came before, and a lot of people did not like it. Like people were like, oh, this isn't Plague Soundscapes, like, and the album is only the band has said that it's one long song, but it's separated into 2 songs, and those 2 songs are separated into like 4 and 5 different like chapters, I guess. So it's like 9 songs total within like 10 minutes. But I don't know, this album is just, it's fucking crazy to me. There's so much packed in. Like I said, it's a little over 10 minutes, but there's so much packed into it. Like, the drums are fucking insane in this. The synthesizers, I feel like they utilized it more than any other album, to the point where there's like certain songs in the album where it's just it's very quiet, and it's just like Joey, the keyboard synth player, he's just doing like these crazy noises with this synth, and it's just nothing but synth. And then like in a drop of a dime, like it just goes into like blast beats and crazy guitar, screeching vocals. And this was also like the introduction of like, they don't have a lead singer. It's just usually I think it was Bobby, the guitar player, and Justin, the bass player, that were doing the vocals. And this one they incorporated Joey, the synth player, which he has my favorite vocals of the whole band. He just sounds like evil, dude. And I don't know, man. Like, to me, this is a perfect album, given it's like only like I said 10 minutes long, but from front to back, like it's just like a punch in the stomach. And it's like a lot of sections, like I even saw you kind of bobbing your head to like certain parts. And something that the Locusts do, they have certain parts like in songs where it's like really catchy, and like just as soon as you start getting into it and your foot starts tapping, they just change it up on you and they just do like a complete 180 into like another one. So like I don't know, like I feel like if you were to stretch this out, like you can create like a fucking like, I don't know, 50-minute album, like hardcore album or whatever. But like I said, it's just so short and condensed. Like it just feels like this little like, I don't know, like short bursts of like energy. But I don't know, it's so hard hitting, and I don't know, like I feel like most people would find it interesting, I guess. I feel a lot of people might like it, especially if you're like into crazier stuff like that, and if you play instruments, check it out. But I don't know, I'm curious to see what you guys thought about it.
What'd you think, Frank?
It was different pretty much. I mean, I really can't say I really got into the Locust.
Mm-hmm.
I did get to catch him at the showcase. I think it was with Phobia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you saw him play?
Yeah. But then again, it was just kind of like, hey, there's a show. Let's go to the show. Type of thing, you know?
That's a lot of showcase hangouts.
Yeah. But I always thought that they were kind of crazy, like different, like with the whole like synth thing going on. And I can remember like back in like 2000, I think 4, I want to say, like when it was all about, there was a big thing going down with like, I think it was like bands like Le Shock and with the whole like synth thing going down, you know what I mean?
I think that was like the early 2000s when they were like really fucking huge, and that's like a lot of the hardcore kids were into them.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I guess like to me it was just something that it was just mostly like hearing them from like bands. I mean, from homies.
Yeah.
You know,
like word of mouth type of thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just that record you played. It's pretty much the same, like whole like stop and go, like, and then you get something different after that type of thing, you know. But yeah, man, like for me, I mean, I would recommend it, but I probably would be something that I probably won't.
Yeah. You know? It's definitely hard to digest.
I mean, it's cool, like, you know, they got their shit down for what they're doing, but but that's always kind of like, to me, that's always been that whole. Like the Locusts, they're cool, but you know,
but not my thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been pretty vocal on this podcast about my dislike for the Locusts. Okay, I don't want to say dislike. It's just I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like being in high school, Evan constantly trying to get me to listen to the Locusts, and I'm just like, dude, like. It doesn't sound like Slipknot. I don't want to listen to this shit. But I mean, that was my mentality back then. So I even tried again, like later on. Cisco was actually another person, like surprisingly, that tried
into Locusts?
Yeah, he was into
That's
the Locusts
crazy.
for a little while.
Yeah.
And I remember he tried to like show me a couple. I don't even remember what it was, but I was just like, nah, I'm not into it. And so I was always very like anti-Locust, and it started off as just like being jokey because a lot of my friends loved the Locusts. And I would always be like, man, the Locusts fucking suck. Like, nah, fuck the Locusts. But just to be, like, contrarian, you know?
Yeah.
And then I remember when I met Eddie, like, one of the first questions he asked me was if I liked the Locusts. And I was like, no.
I remember because Jose was like, oh, my friend Fidel's coming over one day. And that was before I like, met you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, he's like, have you met him before? He's like, I was like, I don't think so, dude. He's like, oh. He's like, he's not important. He doesn't like the Locust, or he said something like along those lines. So like, I don't know. That's why like I always, for some reason, like Locust always remind me of you, even though like you were never like into them.
Yeah.
Which is strange, but that's why I always like incorporate them with you somehow, like in my mind.
Yeah. So like, when the times I did try to like listen to Locust, I was just not into it, you know.
Yeah.
But things turned around for me. Like my opinion of them turned around when I saw them in San Diego with Bastard Noise.
Oh, we did see him over there.
That was the first time I ever saw them. And I remember they were headlining, and I remember thinking like, okay, we got a long drive home after the show. I'm just going to like, when they start playing, I'm just going to go like take a nap in the car or something. Like I'm not interested, you know?
Yeah.
But then I remember, I think Amber, because I was with Amber at the time, she was like, oh no, like I want to see like a couple songs. And I was like, all right, like let's see a couple songs, and then I'm going to go to the car. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And they started playing, and they blew me away. Yeah. It was like they put on an amazing show.
They did put a show, yeah. They did put a show.
And I was like, holy shit, like what have I been missing, you know?
Yeah. One thing I will say, like I know a lot of people too that aren't into that type of music, but they see them live and they're just like shocked to see what like in a good way. Because like I said, they have the outfits, like the little the uniforms.
They were the ones on Jerry Springer.
Oh, that's right.
Well, one of them was
Justin. Right? Justin was on Jerry Springer.
Yeah, and and like just I don't know, like they're just unique in that aspect that they put on a fucking really good show. And it's, like Gabe, like I just fucking the drummer is just insane.
The drummer, like I was like mesmerized by him, by his playing. Like it was insane. Like I ended up staying the whole set because and it went by so fast to me. I was like, holy shit, that was fucking amazing. And I went back and tried to listen to them, like the recordings and stuff, and I still wasn't like, I was still like, nah, I'm not. They were probably just a live band for me.
For me, what kind of threw me off was just kind of like most of the people, my homies that would try to get me into them, just their choppy haircuts, man.
There was a lot of like hipsters that are into that band. Yeah. It was like the cool thing, like I don't know.
But yeah, so like that's basically my opinion of the Locust. They're just like a live band for me. Like I would go out of my way to watch them live, but like, so when we came together to do this episode, and Eddie brought that record, and I saw it was a Locust record. Yeah. I was like, okay, I've never seen this. I don't know this record. No. So I was like, all right, the Locust. Like,
that's why I decided to go this one, because I'm like, if Fidel has heard them, I'm pretty sure he listened to like maybe any other album besides this one, because I feel like this is probably the most underrated album, and it's probably due to the fact that, like I said, it's only like 10 minutes long. So I was like, I don't know, fuck it, I'll give it a shot with this one and see what he thinks.
All right, so we listened to it, listened to the whole thing. I fucking love this record, dude.
It's fucking tight, dude.
It's fucking tight. Like the drums, especially the drums, I was like just so blistering, so precise. Like maybe it's because I'm like we're sitting down and I'm like concentrated on the music. Yeah. I felt like I could hear everything that's going on, and it's so like. Everything sounds so precise.
It's weird to say, but like I feel like having good speakers helps, especially with this band, because they have so many instruments, they have so many like effects. So yeah, having like a clear sound, it's definitely it helps.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I absolutely love this record. I had this big old build up just to say I liked it.
Yeah. But I was like, I know he's gonna like, because I know you're into like the whole like weird like atmospheric like synthesizer stuff. And, like, you fucking love, like, power violence, dude. And so, it has those two things that collided.
Yeah, this is definitely one I want to add to my collection. Yeah. Like, I fucking loved it. So, you could just leave it.
It was weird because, like, while we were listening to one of the Frank's album, me and Birdie were talking about that Safety Second by Last, and how, like, I found it at Amoeba. Yeah. And I've always had, like, luck of finding cool albums at Amoeba every time I show up. But, this is one album that I never find. I found I've been lucky. I've never had to buy, besides New Erections, I've never had to buy another like album from Locust. I just always find them. But this album, like it's pretty rare, dude, and it's hard to find now. And I was just lucky. Like I said, I got it for super cheap at Amoeba just because it was opened up, it was used. But man, if you can find it, like go for it. Yeah, I don't know how much they go on Discogs.
I'm gonna just hit up record stores in San Diego.
That's probably your best bet, dude.
But what album did you choose, Frank?
I chose the Alegría y Tristeza by Jason Joshua and the Beholders. The reason I chose that album is well, when it came out, my homie Anthony was the one that got me into it. The homie that does 45 tape. Shout out to that fool.
Hell yeah.
And pretty much, I feel like when I first heard that album, I was like, oh man, sounds cool. It sounds old school. It has that old school feel.
Yeah.
And before listening to before listening to Jason Joshua, I would listen to oldies like Brent Woods, Robert Mason, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
And even at work, I would play that, and there'll be guys or the workers are telling me like, hey, there's like oldies, but they call it soldies, which is like pretty much new bands doing it like old school and shit. And
I haven't heard that term, soldies.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that's the term for like this style of is soldies. Yeah,
like so newcomers doing that old style.
Yeah, so you got pretty much like the known Duran Jones. Which kind of like was a one of the first. Yeah. To really, but there was always like those other ones that if you really got into it, you would
Yeah.
So I feel like this album is actually one of those albums that really got me into it, like type of thing. So yeah, this album was actually released last February, I believe, in 2020, and it first was like a collaboration with Fat Beats, which they helped him distribute the record. But it's pretty much Jason and Mongo Hills running his own thing. It's a DIY thing. Him and his wife just doing the thing, which that's another reason why it attracted me to this that label is because it's being a punk and DIY, it's all about doing it yourself. That's another thing that I was like, dang, they can do it, we can all
hell yeah,
we can all do it type of thing. Yeah. So I at first the whole LP, I just felt like I was able to it was the first full length. He had dropped singles before that, but just the whole thing, I feel like I was able to, every song that most of the songs that he has, I feel like I could relate to from that song Poor Boy, I just feel like growing up in LA, even just barely getting by type of stuff, that was one of the songs that kind of it got me, even Rose Gold, that's another jam right there. Pretty much the whole thing, it's just I feel like it's different, but it's still I don't know, it's just something new. I feel like it's just that gives you that old school feel. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that happened with this artist actually is he actually helped me propose to my girlfriend, my fiance. Yeah. And it was kind of cool, and it's just everything that happened, I was telling you earlier, it all happened from just music and from collecting records and looking out for not just being fans of the new stuff. Yeah. I was able to make something like that happen. It happened with his wife. I was trying to get a test press from his wife, and somehow the transactions on eBay didn't happen, but I don't know how that. No, usually eBay pretty smooth, but it didn't happen. So I kind of want to see like a faith type of thing, you know what I mean? It's just everything just kind of happened, kind of like a domino effect type of thing, But I was able to get in contact with Jason's wife, and I was able to get that test press, the Mia test press. That's another one that I think, I recommend. Mia, Creatures of the Night. I think that's a good release, a nice single from her, and so I was trying to get that, and so we were able to stay in contact with we exchanged phone numbers. We got the transaction going, and she asked me after that. She asked me, "Are you going to the Let's Groove Together drive-in concert?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I was just I've been wanting to propose, and I've been trying to think of something. So I told her, "Hey, I'm trying to propose to my girlfriend. You think Jason will do a shout out since he's gonna be playing?" At first, I just kind of shot my shot, type of thing,
Were you nervous to ask that?
Yeah, I was nervous. I was just.
I'd be too scared to ask.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where what's the worst that can happen? Yeah, they're gonna tell me no. They'll be like, all right, nobody's gonna know. But it's all right. Yeah, but she ended up. She was actually really excited, and actually wanted also give a shout out to her. She's actually the reason it actually happened. It actually happened, and so. pretty much she told Jason, and then Jason actually came through, which is like, it's just kind of crazy, like, you know, getting into this album. I feel like I feel like I connected with so much, to like having like the actual artist helping me for the next chapter in my life. It's just like, dang, you know, like, I don't know, I guess that's why.
No, that's tight.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I feel like that's the record right now that I feel like it's, you know, for many reasons. For that reason, for also like, it opened like a whole, like, everything that label puts out. I think it's just like, it's really good. If you like oldies, if you like soul, if you like funk, even if you like cumbia, like they have a cumbia thing going on too. So it's just like, if you like anything that's like, I don't know, just a little different.
What's the label called again?
Mango Hill.
Mango Hill?
Yeah, Mango Hill Records. Yeah, and so they pretty much, they operate in Florida, but I know that a lot of the recordings they're done here in the IE by that guy Joey Quinones, which is he's like, dude, Joey Quinones is another guy that I want to say, like, if you should get into. I think he's like, you know, literally like putting it down for everybody. He helps everyone with their music, like by putting his own, like, what's it called, his own, how do you say?
Like his own, like, flavor?
Well, yeah, kind of like just what he knows, you know, like everything that he knows, because I think he's a good producer. He's like really, like, so he, you know, I think if, you know, I feel like he's one of the backbones into like the whole soul scene right now. I guess you could say, like, you know, one of the main dudes that is really doing it, especially with, like, I think the whole setup, like, it's Joey Quinones, Jason Joshua, Trish Toledo. I feel like all of them, like, just being together, just fucking, they brought like this soul thing back, like, really good. And and let's group together. That a concert was really good, man. If it ever comes out, like, on video or anything, or DVD, like,
that'd be tight.
Yeah, I'm going old school DVD.
I know, dude. You need to say Blu-ray.
But I mean, I recommend it. You know, it's something different. I was actually telling, you know, Fidel, like, you know, I'm kind of waiting to see who's gonna start, like, sampling their stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's really good stuff.
There's a lot of potential for sampling.
It's funny you say that, because when I was listening to like, I was like, that's what I kept thinking, like, oh, this would be cool, like, you know, looping this, or like certain sections of the song. Yeah. You know, so it'd be perfect for someone that's into that to listen to this album.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
What'd you think, Eddie?
I liked it a lot. A lot of people don't know, but I'm really into oldies.
I'm honestly,
nice.
I'm fucking surprised right now.
No, like, everyone usually is. Like, even at work, that's usually, like, I don't know, like, I'm the most comfortable cooking at work when I'm playing oldies. Just, I don't know, maybe because it's relaxing.
Yeah.
It's just like positive, easygoing music. And
well, the reason I'm surprised is because you're very, very anti R&B.
I hate R&B, dude.
But oldies, that's like the original R&B.
Yeah, but it's not at the, like, I don't know. Like,
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, like, it's not at that level of like baby making.
But I am surprised that, like, that you like that style of music.
I think a lot of people are, just because I don't know. I'm not like upfront about it, I guess. Like, I don't talk about it that often.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably not into it as much as like a lot of people are, but I do like it. I especially at work, like I said, that's my favorite thing to play. But yeah, I like this album a lot.
Yeah, man.
And that's the first thing. As soon as it was over, I'm like, damn, it's so cool that we all chose like different styles of music, completely different. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. I would definitely, like, this is an album I would definitely like play again and listen to.
Sick, man.
Yeah, I definitely want to add it to my collection also, so you could just leave it here.
All right, for sure.
But no, I mean, for me, I grew up on this style of music, you know. Like, I was an R&B kid.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of 90s R&B growing up.
I got, like, I don't know. I got into it so late, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't start listening to oldies till, like, after high school, dude.
Oh, really?
That's fucking weird, huh?
That is weird. Well, I mean, I was around it a lot because I grew up. I'm Hispanic. I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cholo like relatives that listen to nothing but oldies.
Yeah.
So like every time I listen to any type of oldies, it reminds me of just like being a kid visiting like my tios in Santana, like they're just bumping all like Brentwood and shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you brought up the term soldies and like that. Like I said, like I had never heard that term. Like, it makes complete sense though.
Yeah.
And the only like modern artist that I know of is like Duran Jones and then like Leon Bridges.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't really like delved into it.
Yeah.
But this, oh man, I loved this album. Like, it was so good. Like it made me feel so relaxed and so like it was bringing back like that feeling of being a kid and visiting my tios and like them giving me all these badass gifts and shit.
It's weird that like it has that old style, but it felt like refreshing.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
And like I said, like even though I listen to like a lot of oldies, like I think, like I didn't know that there was like I know it's out there, but I guess I don't know enough for like me to discover new artists that are doing that style.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's so interesting to me, and like I said, it's refreshing because like I guess like all I listen to really that are from like upcoming artists is like hardcore stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of stuck, so it was like it's cool to like know that like that's a big thing still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and it's like it's just becoming. I feel like it's becoming a lot bigger.
Yeah, there's like this whole world that like
yeah,
I said that I'm not aware of, and so it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Duran. When I first heard Duran Jones, I was just like, in my head, I was like, "Who is this? Like, how have I didn't know like hear about this when I was a kid?" But then I realized like it's a new artist.
Yeah.
And that's when that's when I found out like there's people still doing this type of music.
Yeah.
It's just not as widespread and like it is blowing up now. Like I'm starting to see a lot more like newer artists like releasing this style of music, and I think that's fucking tight. And then like you explaining the whole like DIY aspect of like that label. I'm sorry, the name.
It's Mango Hill.
Mango Hill, like that's fucking tight. Like I want to look more into that.
Yeah.
I'll leave. Do they have like a website or anything?
Yeah, they have an Instagram and a website. So I'm pretty sure just go at Mango Hill Records.
All right, yeah, I'll have a link for that in the description of the episode. But yeah, like I love this album. I want to add it to my collection, and thank you for fucking choosing this shit.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Like, and then the whole story of like you proposing, that's fucking tight, dude.
Yeah, man.
Because I remember when you told me you were planning on doing that.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's fucking sick.
Yeah. See, but the thing is, I was a little bit nervous because I was like, man, I feel like I don't want to bug him. Like, you know, I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, is it gonna happen? Which I'm gonna be honest, like at one point I did kind of like didn't get a response. I was kind of like, like I don't want to bug him though. Like I don't want to bug him. So that's when what's it called, Johnny from the Escapers, after he finished his set at the same day, he came up to me. He goes, "Hey, how did it sound?" And we just kind of start chopping it up. And then as a kind of last thing, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna ask see if I don't, like I said, I felt like I was asking too much as it is. You know what I mean? So I kind of told him, man, like, hey, you think you can see if it's gonna go down, type of thing, you know, with Jason. And that's when I got the thumbs up, and that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the show. It's gonna go down now. So, dude, and even at one point, so when it actually went down, Jason was just like, hey, Frank, and I was just like so into like the show, like I wasn't even paying attention. And then like my brother was like, hey, fool, they're calling you, and I was like, oh shit, I'm right here, bro. So yeah, like I just like right then and there, I grabbed my girl's hand and like we went up there, and from what she was telling me, she was just expecting like así como like what do you say, te van a recomendar this song's for you,
like a dedication.
Yeah, she thought it was just a dedication, and what's it called? Nah, little did she know. Yeah,
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was just kind of like, even like watching the video now, it just kind of makes me like, damn, it was just perfect. And I just want to thank Jason and, like I said, his wife, and also Johnny, and just for like just kind of, you know, it happened, and I already got the yes, we're gonna be at the wedding type of thing. So,
they're gonna go to your wedding.
Yeah,
hell yeah. Are they gonna perform, or they're just going like?
I'm just gonna send them as invites.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play the instrumentals they want to do. You know? No,
you should put on the invite like you're invited plus your instruments.
No, but it's like, I told him, no, I just wanted to be. I just want them to be invites, like invited, like my guest of honor type of thing. Like, cause dude, come on, like. I just the next day I was just kind of like, damn, it really happened. Like, it was cool. Like, oh yeah,
it's like hitting you. Like,
man,
it really
like,
happened.
You know what I mean? So, and it was even like people saying like, oh man, how much did you pay? I was like, dude, no, it's like homie shit. Like, this guy's a real one. Like, he'll do it for his fans.
That's
you know,
tight.
and like that's what's up. So that's another thing too. You know, like I feel like a lot of people in the soul scene, I guess, in that scene, like, they're just really humble, like, from meeting them, like, personally, like, they were just, like, you know, they'll look out for each other, and I think that's a lot of what we need in the community in general, you know, like, everyone kind of...
Especially right now.
Yeah, you know, like, so, you know, yeah, I'm just, it's cool, and I'm glad it's something growing, and I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's fucking tight.
But if anything, I'll be back with more stuff, man.
Hell yeah. Are you down to do more with us?
Yeah, I'll be down to do more.
Hell
you know,
yeah,
like,
dude.
I could show you guys the new stuff that, you know, I'm getting out of those labels and stuff like that. Because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of good stuff that they're putting out. And it's just, it's going to give you that feel, like that, you know, that throwback kind of like, damn, kicking it, like at the park, you know, kind of the solid type of thing, you know, or whatever it is. And yeah, man, I'll be down to do something like that. You know, keep doing it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, because, like, you were the first person I thought of when we talked about, like, having, like, a guest do it. Yeah, just because I just, like, recently, I didn't realize how, like, into records you were, like, I was, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I've even, like, bought stuff off you and, like, talking records with you. I was like, damn, man. Like, I feel like we've missed out on so many conversations, like...
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, man. Like, I feel like barely I was able to, like, get into records the way I wanted to get into records. Like, I feel like in my younger years, I wasn't, like, in a stable, like, situation where to, like, oh, I could just go buy this record and store it in this spot and it's going to be fine. No, like, it was one of those things where I was always, like, going from, like, place to place, and I always had to, like, carry my stuff, or if I was, like, you know, crashing a homie's, like, spot. You know, I wasn't financially stable to be a collector.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, once, you know, I started, like, saving money, and especially when the whole Stimmy stuff happened.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw some money in here, like, now that I can do it. So, you know, I was able to get a lot of cool stuff, and even now, like, I'm able to come across a lot of, rare stuff, like, first presses. That's mostly, like, what I like to.
Yeah.
What I like to lean to. Like, if I could get, you know, it's pretty much this idea that, you know, Omar brought up, like,
would you say he was, like, a big influence on you getting into it?
Yeah.
That's funny because it's the same for me. He was a huge influence on me getting into it.
Yeah, man. So he pretty much said something that is kind of true. Like, you know, I was buying a lot of represses for a minute, and I was like, you know, color represses are cool. But then, like, he was telling me, like, why are you spending, you know, $20-$30 on, like, you know, a shitload of represses where you could just get that money and buy a badass original, and, you know, that's never going to lose its worth. And I was like, that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Something similar like that, like, when I first started collecting records, I didn't think it was going to be, like, a big thing for me, like how it is now.
Yeah.
And that's something I regret. Like, in the beginning, I just would buy whatever's cheaper, whatever.
Yeah,
like, the first thing I found, you know?
Yeah.
And now, like, I definitely, like, try to lean towards more of the rare stuff, and
even if it's you're more particular.
Pricier, yeah.
But sometimes you get lucky with those originals too. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you find them at the dollar bins.
Sometimes they can get expensive though.
Sometimes
if it's like a big group or an artist.
Yeah, and that's another thing too with like soul music. Like, yeah, man. I think it goes for any kind of genre. Like even like hip hop and like everything. Like once you really start going down the rabbit hole of any kind of genre, you gotta ready to put your wallet, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's cool. Like just, I love my collection. Like right now, I feel like I'm proud of what I have, type of thing, you know.
But eventually, like I haven't talked to Fidel about this, but I want to do like an episode where, well, like a few just like maybe one where we talk about our first vinyl. Like our first ever, the first one we ever bought, and like talk about it, talk about the story behind it and all that.
Yeah.
Or maybe even one where we talk about like our most rare vinyl, like or one that like our.
Would you want it to be like a separate episode, or as part of like a crate digging episode?
Yeah, like a special edition of crate digging or something like that. Just like just something we could talk about. Like
fuck yeah, I'm down.
Because like a lot of people like, they don't know, like they're not a part of that record collecting world, so they don't understand like first pressings or they don't understand like there's like different versions of it, like different colored vinyls, like all that stuff. So when you start explaining to them, they're like, what the hell, like why do you care?
That sounds like my girl, man.
That's
what she says, like, why do you have so many of the same ones? You know, yeah, but that's one thing too that I've been kind of teaching her too, because I do want to eventually open a record store, and like that's one of my goals, and I've been telling her, if we're really gonna do this, you gotta learn how to read the matrix and like know what you're selling, and not just like, you know, just put it for a price and you know, because there's been times where I bought something and I paid a lot of money for it. You know, it's kind of crazy. It's that Wu-Tang, the 36 Chamber, that one I've always tried to get it, but all right, the first time I got it, it was original. It was cool and everything, but it started skipping, and I paid like $75-$80 for it, which I thought it wasn't too bad considering like what it goes for. Yeah. And what's called Damn, I got stuck. Sorry. He ended up giving my money back. Said like, oh, sorry about that. So I tried to go for another copy, and this guy sold me like a 2017 reprint. So that's where it comes down to like learning how to read the matrix. You know, like I didn't give him a hard time. You know, I was like, oh, shit happens. But I knew right away. Like you just kind of know. Like
you could tell.
Yeah, you could tell. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've been, you know, I've been trying to teach my fiance, you know, because like I said, if I'm trying to open a record store out here in Riverside,
you would want her to be involved, you know.
Yeah, you know, to know what's going on and to kind of look after it, and yeah, that's one of the things that hopefully there's some spots that we're keeping an eye out.
Hell yeah.
And, hopefully, you know.
Hopefully, man.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up this edition of Crate Digging. Again, thanks, Frank, man. Like. This is tight. I'm glad you're down to do more. Like look forward to doing more with you.
No problem.
But I'll try to. I'll include some links for like the music that we talked about. Yeah. I'll probably make like a small playlist because the one I chose, they're not on Spotify. But I'll make like they have a couple songs on Spotify that aren't on the EP I chose. Yeah. So I'll make a playlist including a couple of those songs just so people can get a taste of what they sound like.
You think if you would get in trouble if you were to rip the record and put it into a YouTube channel?
I don't know. No, I don't think so because they're kind of like a underground, like they're not on a major label or anything. Yeah. But it is on Bandcamp. Oh, okay. So like I'll include the link to Bandcamp and you could download it for free on there. But thanks again, and thank you guys for sticking around.
Thank you, man.
You could find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at BetamaxULTD, and then find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Podcast, anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just search for Betamax, and we'll see you guys next time.